Okay, here we go. Oh, I just heard myself back on there. Okay, welcome everybody. Good evening to you all. And yeah, here we go. Lots of fun news. It was a very, very fun week for Tesla in general, I think. Let me see where I can sit because now David is on that chair.
I can scoot back over.
No, you're good. And then David has his own David cam.
Yeah, upgraded from last week.
Upgraded from last
Hopefully
week.
Better quality video.
It's hopefully that camera looks better than the other one. Hopefully everyone's night is going well. Chris is in chat. Just met up with Chris. Hello. Hopefully your road trip is going great.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the live stream, a lot. Oh, they said it's a lot clearer today. They like your new David cam.
Good. We upgraded the camera slightly, so we were hoping it looks better.
Someone said they just got an O'Reilly Auto Parts ad. That's hilarious. Don't need oil from there. Someone said it's 2 a.m. Okay, well, anyway, so we're going to kind of go over some things, kind of same thing as we have done previously, and we'll go over some news. We have a lot of Model Y news. That's probably going to be the biggest thing we talk about. And then second half of live stream, we'll just be hanging out with you guys, answering questions. I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of Y questions. There's going to be a lot of Y stuff today. So hopefully you all are super excited for Model Y because I'm stoked. Hopefully you guys can't hear the squeaky toy outside because one of the dogs has that. But yeah, so I don't know. Let's go ahead first and talk about some firmware updates that have happened this week.
Again, not much news on the firmware updates. Most people, about 90%, are still at 2020.4.1, which came out a few weeks ago. And there hasn't been a lot of other stuff. There has been a new release this week. It seems to be mostly going to people who took delivery in the past few weeks. Instead of having to wait months for an update, they've been getting 20.4.10.1, but we really haven't seen anything new on that. So really nothing much to say about firmware.
Yeah, it's been pretty relaxed.
But with it being so silent, we are predicting some big release probably around the 7th or so of March. And, somewhere in the early March, I'm betting we're going to see something big coming.
Yeah, and so all the new firmware updates, too, haven't listed anything new in the release notes. So it's probably just bug fixes and kind of getting everybody ready for hopefully something exciting. Some other news, stock price. Well, we've all kind of noticed that. We've kind of been following that a lot on the channel. And it was kind of an ugly week for everything.
Yeah, it wasn't just Tesla.
It was not just Tesla. We want to make sure everybody knows that. But I think Tesla's down like 27%.
It's a big
from
drop
their
from
high.
Yeah.
So whole market's down though. The whole coronavirus thing. We're not going to go too far into that. But I'm just going to say that's the really kind of why everything's down.
But even though the stock price is down, it might provide some investing opportunities for those of you who weren't able to buy it when it was at like 900, because you don't want to buy it when it's at its peak. But now that it's dropping, it might drop some more. But it's always going to go back up. So
this is not investment advice.
But I'm just saying it might be a good time to buy
we need to put a little disclaimer here. But it's getting to a point where a lot more people could get into it, which is great because everybody would love a piece of Tesla. And since this is a Tesla channel, I'm sure you all have a Tesla or are interested in Tesla, so it kind of goes hand in hand with that. So we've been hearing some rumors too about these S and X LR or long range plus cars that they can't be delivered until March 7th. So what a lot of people are reporting online, that's making us think there might be something to these.
Yeah, we've heard a lot of people had like deliveries scheduled and then they were contacted by their delivery advisor and said, "Oh, sorry, we can't deliver it. We're going to have to push out your appointment till the March 7th at the earliest." And that seems to be, it's like a containment or they're using some words such as that, where no cars, no S and X new ones are allowed to be delivered before that date. So that's why we're predicting there's probably going to be some software update here in the next week or so, and to probably go along with any new features that might be on that car.
Yeah, I think there's something big coming. There's got to be something happening, because why else would they delay people's cars?
So as we know, it's long range plus, so they're going to be getting some more range, but we don't know what else might be involved with that. We don't know if it's more efficiency improvements or if there's actually a larger battery. We have seen some rumors that they might have changed the battery pack, and it might be more than 100 kilowatt hours.
They did change the labeling on the battery packs.
Yeah, we noticed that last week, that they no longer list the capacity on the S and X battery, so that just might be a hint as something's changing.
Yeah, something's definitely, I think, going on with this. I mean, there might really not be anything to it for now, at least, but I definitely think there's some exciting stuff coming up.
Hopefully we'll find out in another week. Maybe we'll be talking about that next Saturday.
I think you're right. So yeah, can't wait for that news because maybe eventually we'll trade in our S and get a new one. And I would like to see some other improvements. So what else do we have here? Big news kind of related to stock price, maybe a little bit, is Tesla and Panasonic are ceasing their solar production agreement at Gigafactory 2.
Yeah, that was a kind of a surprise for me.
It was.
Tesla was really ramping things up there several years ago after purchasing it from Solar City, and it was the way where they were making U.S.-made solar panels via a partnership with Panasonic, and those are actually the panels we have installed on our house, and they have a great warranty, and we've been 100% satisfied with them. So I was kind of surprised to hear that they have ended that relationship, but I guess they're going to be going more with some Chinese panels that they're producing. Or that they're purchasing from China. And I don't really know. I think it's just Panasonic is just wanting to get out of that. We don't know all the details.
Yeah, it seems kind of like they just want kind of like out of that and maybe just focus more on batteries.
But we do know, though, at the Gigafactory 2 there in Buffalo, that they are still working on Supercharger, like V3 equipment, producing that, as well as the solar roof tiles. So maybe they've decided to go more with solar roof at that factory.
Totally. And they are going to be ramping all that up, so... Yeah. And then let's see. We have some big news with the PGE and Tesla collaboration in California.
So basically with the utility there in California, they're going to build the world's largest battery farm. And we've seen these all over, like in islands such as Hawaii and also in Australia and some of the other American territories. Tesla has been working with the utilities there to put in these huge battery farms, which basically allow these islands and countries to reduce their usage of fossil fuels and use more renewables such as solar and wind energy to charge those power packs. And so they haven't, I don't think, given the exact size of that battery farm, but they say it will be the world's largest. So, the ones in Australia are already amazingly huge.
Yeah.
So if they're going to build one right there in California, it's going to be big.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just looking at one of these lights real quick. I saw someone asked if we can brighten you up a little bit.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So here we go. David, brightened.
Okay.
Ask and you shall receive. Thank you for that. And yeah, I guess that's kind of it for the bulk of the news.
There was a little bit of excitement, though, towards the end of the week. I think it was it Wednesday night?
Wednesday night it hit. For Model Y, they rolled out some emails about being able to build yours. And so that actually hit, and that was pretty big for like final paperwork and everything and loans and all that. And then I'm trying to find mine here so I can pull that up for you guys. Give me 1 second. But that was actually big. This is the first we've seen where we could do this. Before we saw the questionnaire came out of when people can't take delivery. But this is the first of like preparing for delivery, filling out the loan, where you want it registered,
contact information,
all that. Sorry, let me transfer
make last minute
on
adjustments, because adding or removing autopilot and some other features such as that.
Yeah, it was pretty big.
But basically, we saw that when we were seeing the other emails going out. People have been reporting that it was only for Model Ys that had the black interior. So we were surprised when we were able to see with our white interior that we actually had the option to put in the financing information. But we were pleasantly surprised, of course. So we were looking forward to taking delivery of that Model Y.
Very. And we've also seen a lot of stuff going on at the Fremont factory that some people have noticed that we'll pull up here in a minute.
Yeah, kind of like what we saw a few
years
ago.
I'll pull this up real quick. Let me switch to this for you guys. And so kind of right here, it looks like they're stockpiling Model Ys.
Yeah, and we saw this a couple years ago with the Model 3, before they started pushing it out, and they were having car carriers come in like every hour of the day, just loading up with the Model 3s. And before, they weren't distributing them across the country quite as early, but from what we've heard with all these people around the country, it sounds like they will be hitting the entire United States sometime in mid-March.
Yeah, we've heard different things, like obviously I have to pull up black stuff because personal information here, but reservations blocked out. But we've already completed our delivery location, our registration, and we are actually going to be trading in the all-wheel drive Model 3 for this one. So we've completed that, as well as any financing information. You can choose whether you're doing cash or a loan and all that jazz just down below here. But yeah, it's super exciting, and that could be our white Model Y sitting right here.
Yeah, I can't
Right
tell
there.
if it's a white
That could
interior
be
or
it.
not.
Yeah, we can't tell interior on these, but that could totally be it. Now, one person actually did see this photo and was asking, why does it appear to be chrome on this blue Y right here? That's actually not chrome. So that's just the protector.
Plastic.
Yeah,
wrap
like plastic
kind
protector. You can see it on some of these, but you can really see like most of these are all black. So there's none with chrome. It's just a protector to make sure everything stays like it should and in good condition for when people take delivery. But like example, here's another one. Look how big, like how tall that hatch opening is too. That's pretty. That's going to give people a lot of room and flexibility.
Yeah,
and since
definitely.
it does open that wide, it is a clear indication that it is motorized.
Yeah, I've seen some videos showing that it should be motorized just like on the S and X.
Yeah. Real quick, Eric the Goat Guy, thank you for your super chat. He asked, what is better, a Tesla truck or Model Y? Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah.
And it kind of brings me to another question. It really depends on what works for you and what you need.
Definitely, and also what your timeline is, because as we know, the Cybertruck is still not going to be out for not until 2021, late 2021 at
Yep.
the earliest, and then it's going to probably take time to get ramped up. So, if you're looking for something sooner, the Model Y would probably be available earlier.
Yeah, but I mean, both have their pros and cons too. The Cybertruck, those specs are very, very nice. So I imagine to compete with that, Y will eventually drop in price a little bit, just as technology gets better and better. But for what the truck offers, it's very, very impressive.
And again, the Model Y should have seating for 5. Maybe eventually they'll have seating for 7 if you get that third row. The truck will have seating for up to 6 people, but it will have a lot more cargo room. Now, the Y will have a lot of cargo room as well. It's supposed to be pretty close to what the Model S has, which is pretty impressive.
Yeah. Don says you should have your seatbelt on for safety.
Oh, I always put it on once per thing to show that, yes, I do have seatbelts available here.
Got to keep your seatbelt on for safety. Safety first, everybody.
I mean, Don, is that Don? Don, did you ask that last week too? I don't know.
I don't know. Don is just watching out for us, so thank you, Don. That's so funny. But yeah, there's a lot of interesting things. So now this actually came from another Twitter user, Jay, and he has an amazing comparison. So a lot of people have been asking how the Y looks like compared to Model X, and here's his Twitter. Definitely huge shout out to him for all this. Here he is standing next to a Model X down below and a Model Y up above. And you can really see Model X kind of comes up to maybe about his eyes here, but it's pretty tall in this photo too. So it looks like maybe it's only like 2, maybe 3 inches shorter than Model X. So this kind of gives us a really good indication here. And it even looks like he's wearing the exact same shoes, which I know people will ask because that can make a big difference. But you can definitely see it's taller. And that's kind of what we wanted to see from Y. Now, what it's going to do for Model X orders, not sure. Because it almost looks like a Model Y is more like a Model X without the Falcon Wing doors.
Pretty similar. I know it's not going to have nearly as much room in the third row as the X does. I mean, already.
Yeah, because I mean, you can see from this photo too, like the X has more of a bulge here in the back. They're taking it slightly different angles, but it definitely has more of a bulge here. So it is probably the closest like picture we have to comparing the two.
I've got this other one here, which many people might have seen. I just sent you one.
Oh, did you send it to me?
Yeah.
Okay, then we're gonna pull up another photo real quick.
And this is cool because this picture shows all 4 models, the 3, the Y, the S, and the X, all at the same supercharger.
Yeah, I don't remember who exactly took this, but props to them. If we find it out, we'll go ahead and link it down below in the description. But definitely a very cool photo. Now, my only complaint with though, they're out of order.
Yeah.
We need to have the S over here, the 3 here, the X here, and the Y here, because we want to spell sexy. But I will say, head on, look at the Model Y versus Model X. It's still a pretty decent size car. Now, it's definitely not going to be as wide. You can kind of see that. But it's looking good. This lineup is a strong, healthy lineup for sure. But yeah, a lot of fun Y stuff coming up. Can't wait for delivery. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. Now, I'm not sure how videos will be for delivery. I probably can't like live stream delivery because they normally don't prefer a bunch of filming there because there's a lot of other people there that might not want to be on camera. So we'll probably take delivery of our Y and then drive someplace and maybe even live stream from there. So definitely turn on like your notifications if you haven't already, because this is going to be probably like an impromptu thing. We're not sure how much notice we'll actually get for the Y. Hopefully we get one of the first ones here in Colorado, but it could be very last minute. So hopefully we have a little bit of information, but I'll take whatever I can get. So yeah, a lot of fun Y stuff. Very, very exciting. Balk37 asked what kind of Y accessories we'll get. So there's probably going to be some fun aftermarket like body kit stuff coming out. Not sure about that yet though. But we definitely will be doing like the Abstract Ocean center console wrap because I'm not a huge fan of that black material. This actually sounds like my outro in every video. But I'm just not a fan of it. It scratches very easily, shows fingerprints very easily. That will help protect it.
And we're hoping that since the Y is based off of the Model 3, that most of the accessories for the 3 will still work on the Model Y. Obviously, there's going to be some differences, but a lot of them should still work.
Yeah, that's kind of what we're going to be testing out, is hopefully it all does work and carry over. And then same thing with like the screen protector. We'll probably wrap the white on the dash because that can be kind of create a lot of glare issues. There'll be a lot of other fun things coming with the Y too, without letting too much out at once.
But I think even we're planning to like take our all-weather floor mats out of the 3 and try them on the Y. If they don't fit, we'll at least use them temporarily until the Y has specific ones made. But we're hoping that they're pretty close fit.
Especially since it's December. Since it's winter here, it's not December. I repeat, it's almost March.
Almost March.
So we need those all-weather floor mats here because it can snow and I don't want to get all muddy and everything. Eric, thank you again for another super chat. Can you live in a Model Y? Oh, live. Sorry. It's been a long day.
It's been a long Tesla day.
I'm sure you could, but I definitely think that Model X would probably be a little bit more comfortable just because of the room. But there are several people that I've heard of that live in Model X's.
And we do know a lot of people who still camp in there, whether it's a Model S or a Model X or
3.
Model 3 so far.
Yeah.
And the Y should definitely have more room than a Model 3.
Yeah, Don, Puppy definitely looks really excited about Model Y.
Oh,
He's had a long day too.
He's a little tired, yeah. It's bricking.
He found a nice comfy blanket and is just going to hang out with us. So let's see kind of what some other people
I was going to say
said.
one thing we forgot. It was not only, so we talked about a lot of other like nationwide Tesla news, but we forgot to mention that we have a new service center that just opened up here. And we went to the ribbon cutting ceremony on Thursday night, and that's located up in Superior, Colorado, which is kind of between Denver and Boulder. It's a brand new building. They've been working on it for a couple of years, and they had a large part of the government for the city of Superior was there, including the mayor, and they had a nice little ribbon cutting ceremony, and we got to meet a lot of Tesla owners there, as well as some new people who were looking at buying Teslas. Besides that, we also found out that the service center, brand new, nice facility. We found out they will eventually be putting superchargers there, but they don't know when that's going to be. But it'll be nice to fill in the gap. But there have been another couple of superchargers that have been discovered or have come online here in the Denver area recently. Just yesterday, we found this location, which is just north of Park Meadows Mall, just really close to the Lone Tree supercharger, but this is going to be a V3 supercharger with 12 stalls, and that is located in Centennial, just north of Park Meadows. We also saw that the Thornton supercharger up north of Denver just came online last night, and we headed up there this morning and did some supercharging up there.
Yeah, a lot of really fun, exciting things coming in Colorado. Hopefully they're building everything
all around the country too, but they're definitely helping in Colorado with so many new superchargers coming online. We had a couple year dry spell, but
we did.
They are now sending the. Oh, so basically here
we got another dog.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're pushing like full steam ahead. And I've been hearing from a lot of people too that there've been a lot of superchargers being built up where they live. So even better. I think we have some more photos rolling in
so
here.
there's just one more. So basically, in Colorado, we've seen that Tesla has joined up with a convenience store chain, Come and Go, and they are installing them at several several locations around the state. And this is the Thornton one, which is the second partnership they have. The first one was Idaho Springs, which opened a couple weeks ago. And again, these are all V3 superchargers, so don't have to worry about pairing when you're charged with those. You should get the full charge available to your car.
Yeah. Someone was asking what the address of the supercharger was in Thornton. If you have that, do you mind dropping that in the comments?
I will look for it. Yeah, it's up on 120th. It's close to I-25 and 120th. So the Come and Go is
just on the northeast corner of that intersection?
Northeast corner of 120th and I-25. And it's still not listed yet on Tesla's site. So we see these superchargers because we go to supercharge.info and we're on the forums and stuff. So we chat and we can, and as you saw with the one we found north of Park Meadows, we go searching for these ourselves just so we can try to find where these superchargers will be. So this one, the Come and Go, located up in Thornton, it has not officially been turned on yet. It is available. It's working. You can stop by and use it. But
we charged and it worked? We
charged it today, no problem. And a couple Model X's showed up right after we did in charge. I heard from some people that this location is not currently free. Sometimes when they bring a supercharger online, it can be free for a week or two while they're bringing it up to speed. We heard that in Idaho Springs it was free for a couple weeks. This one, though, somebody said that they were charged right away. So for those of you that still have to pay for supercharging, it's not going to be a free lunch. But for those of you with free supercharging, you don't have to worry about that. But again, it won't be listed on Tesla's site for probably another week or two. We saw that after Idaho Springs came on, it took at least a week before it showed up on Tesla's site.
Yeah, I imagine this will be up in no time since they took down all the tape and it actually is working. But one thing I did just notice is be careful if you use it, because if you look here at the back of the car, that light pole juts out.
One of them has a light pole for some reason. We haven't seen that normally, but you have to be careful when backing up on that one. Another interesting thing about this site, we originally thought it was going to have 8 stalls, and they only ended up installing 6 of them. Yeah, and there's space for 2 more, so we don't know if those
2 spots over here,
if they're going to be Tesla superchargers or if it's perhaps going to be a team, maybe Come and Go will join up with Electrify America or some other charging network. We don't know. One other thing that's different about this site is there's this little fire...
Yeah, this is the first time I've seen this.
We haven't seen a fire extinguisher before at any supercharger site. If you've seen one, let us know, but this is the first time we've seen one. They don't even have one at the Come and Go up in Idaho Springs, so it was just interesting to see a fire extinguisher right there.
Yeah, so I don't know. We first saw that fire extinguisher and we're like, what's going on here?
Yeah, at first I thought it was like an emergency shut-off valve that you see at gas stations. I thought, well, maybe they have that there as well, but when you look closer, it's a fire extinguisher.
Yeah, very interesting. Weird to say nonetheless. But yeah, someone's saying probably because it's at the gas station. But yeah, it's definitely nice to see all these popping up all over the place. Colorado, I'm sure, will have even more that we haven't found yet, and we'll just have to keep
We're going to keep looking. Yes, definitely do some road trips all across the state.
A lot of scouting trips.
Yep.
But yeah, I don't know. Let's see. I know that there are a couple messages here that I meant to try to get to. Where was some of that? Someone was asking if we think they'll lower the price of Model 3 or even Model Y like they did with the 3. I don't think so, because the Model Y is still, hi buddy, priced very aggressively in my mind. And Model 3, I think, is at a decent price point. I know they have some used ones that are very gently used, only like a few thousand miles for pretty good deals. But I know the stock overall, like how many they have on hand, is pretty low in the US at least. But you could always check stuff out like that. Yeah, somebody said they've seen 4v3s under construction for a long time, open the past week, so they're definitely ramping it up.
Yeah.
Very fun.
I see KK mentions Ridgeway, and I've heard some rumors about Ridgeway, also Montrose and Telluride. So, yeah, definitely.
There have been a lot of people asking for it in Steamboat Springs, too. So we'll have to see what happens with all of that, but that would definitely be a great location, I think.
I know it has been on the list for a while, so I know they have to expand up in that part of the state eventually.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Let's see. Mr. X is saying Model Y 19 verse 20, which wheels to get? So, actually on Tesla's site here, I would play around with this and see what works for you, because the 19 verse 20, you're going to get a range hit. So these are the 19-inch Geminis, which I actually think look great for an aero wheel.
And that's with the cover on. You can remove those covers, and it's
Exactly.
just like, is it 7 spokes? Like
It's a 7-spoke. But if you get the performance, now it might include some other things. I don't know why any of these other things would impact range so much. Oh, now it's not working. Interesting. Now they both say 315.
Oh, so maybe it was an error before they finally fixed it. So
No, sorry. I had to have the performance upgrade.
Okay.
Sorry, there it is. Now
those larger wheels,
it drops 35 miles of range potentially with getting these 21-inch. So you need to kind of keep that in mind too. Is that something you're willing to risk? Or kind of like what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to run the 21s in the summer, and I'll keep the aero rims, the Geminis for winter tires, and also in case I need that range on a road trip. So I'm going to kind of balance them out and see how it goes.
But they do have the 20-inch induction as well, which look pretty nice.
Yeah, so if you kind of go back here and you go to the long range, let me go back because it's not like loading properly. Maybe they're getting a bunch of orders. I'm not saying 20-inch at all.
They used to have the induction on there. I don't know. Or is that, what about if you do performance without the upgrade package?
Both have the
20
Gemini.
Oh, really? Yeah. What about, well, interesting. I know they had them there somewhere, so
maybe we have to go to exterior. Oh, that's I think what it is.
There you go.
We go long range, and then there's the inductions. It doesn't say those limit range at all, but I definitely would think you're gonna see a slight drop.
And one bit of advice for those who might not want those larger Uber turbine wheels, if you still want the rest of the package, go ahead and click to get that package, because you can take delivery of it, and then you can easily swap those wheels with somebody else who wants to upgrade their wheels. And so,
a lot of people have done that with SNX.
Yeah, so
and even the 3.
Because some people want larger wheels, some want smaller, and take advantage of getting those while they're offered, and then just buy another set of tires, or just find somebody online and swap those out with them, either
or
locally or nationwide.
Yeah,
it's a little easier if it's local though.
Yeah, check
swapping.
out like a local Tesla club. That's what I would try to do. But yeah, definitely a lot of cool stuff coming with I'm so excited for Y.
Yeah, hopefully we'll be hearing about that in the next week or so.
Yeah. Let's see. Somebody was asking, are the Park Meadows chargers remaining? And we're not sure.
We don't know yet. So right now, I think there's 10 Park Meadows Superchargers, and they're all V2. And they've had some problems with a couple of them. And I know they've been out a couple times.
2 of them are out of order because they got like backed into. I don't know if it was by Teslas or not, but yeah.
But it's the current location is really not the best spot. They're located like right at one of the east entrance, and that parking lot is busy throughout the year, especially in the holidays. And we were kind of surprised they put it in that location when they added it a couple of years ago. So it's possible they will leave it though, just because they spent all that money. It would cost them even more to remove it. So I could see them maybe leaving it, or maybe moving a few stalls. But I'm hoping it will be in addition to the one which is going to be just north of Park Meadows, which is up in the Centennial Promenade, kind of by the Jason's Deli and the Stickley's Fine Furniture. So you're going to have to walk a little bit to get to the restaurants, but at least it's going to be a parking lot that's not busy, and it'd be pretty easily accessible right off of I-25 and County Line.
Because that's the other thing with the Park Meadows Supercharger as it is now is, especially during the holiday season and everything, that parking lot is a nightmare.
Yeah, because it's right outside of like the food court entrance, and it's a busy spot, and also to get back on the highway from there, you kind of have to do these weird loops sometimes if you don't go the right way. So I think the one up at Centennial Promenade will be a little better, and since it's going to be V3, you're going to be able to get the full charge and not have to worry about paired superchargers, and so it should charge faster there.
Yeah, it should be really nice actually. Vikram asks, selling my Model 3 with FSD to private party, do you know if FSD will still be available to the new owner? So if you sell your car like private party, it comes with everything that you've bought.
Yeah.
It's only if you sell it. Well, okay. Supercharging can sometimes be debated on.
Depends
It'll say
on
in
the
your
model
app,
and the year we bought it. Yes.
It'll say online. But like FSD stuff like that will all transfer over to the new owner if you sell privately. It's when you sell it to like a dealer that's like not Tesla, or maybe even is Tesla. Sometimes those options can be a little gray, but if you're selling privately, it should transfer right over. It has with every car we've sold, and I believe that's still what their TOS says online. So let's see here. Do you know if the Model Y trunk is powered? So based on what we've seen, which Third Row podcast, if you haven't listened to them, by the way, I would highly check it out. Great podcast. If you check out some of these photos, these lift gates are up so high, and you can see how thick these struts are on the left and the right. So it's got to be powered.
Yeah, and some people have reported seeing videos of people being picked up at the airport there in San Francisco, and it was powered. Now, we don't know if that means 100% of them were, but they have made some, so we will assume that they are powered. Especially because it's going to be a taller car than the Model 3.
Yeah.
Some people might not be able to reach that, but if having it powered, they could use the button inside the car or even via the app to close it and open it.
And unfortunately,
looks like
the David cam glitched out.
Oh no!
Nuts. Okay,
well, it's the first time with this camera, so we're
first time figuring it out still. But because these hatches are so high up, it's got to be powered. And it might be that they could just maybe make the performance and everything, maybe long range and all that powered. They might do something different for the lower trims if they make those, but I definitely think it's powered. Let's see. Where's my mouse here? How long, if someone orders a Y now, would it take?
That we don't have any good answer for because a lot of people ordered like last year at the Model Y unveiling, so almost a year ago, 50 weeks since from today. Yeah. But we've seeing reports of people who just placed orders in the last couple of weeks who have already gotten notification emails or seen that they've been able to go ahead and put their financing information right there on the Tesla website. So we haven't figured out any rhyme or reason of why they're inviting, who they're inviting, but it seems like people all across the country are getting invites and being able to
and I think
that.
The thing is though, is I think Tesla might have had a glitch on their website and opened it up to everybody, 7-seat options and everything, which are supposed to be out for a while. Luckily, ours still says preparing for delivery. Most people's went back to just saying next steps on there. So since ours does say preparing for delivery, I've been told that we are already set to go and we should be good. So I don't know, kind of look at it like that and see if yours does say preparing for delivery. Here, I'll show you kind of what it showed here. Let me find the picture. Maybe I don't have the picture. I need to pull it back up. Give me just 1 second. But yeah, ours does say preparing for delivery still. And I guess everybody else,
not everybody, but
a lot of people that it kind of came up where they could fill everything in and then disappeared.
But I have seen some people are still saying that just recently, like as of yesterday, they were still getting the options to go ahead and put their financing information and contact information. So Tesla is still opening it up.
So like if yours says like prepare for delivery up here and like these options, you should definitely be in that first batch and everything. So exciting. And if that is you, congratulations. Hopefully you enjoy your Y. I know they're going to be pretty epic. And actually real quick, a lot of people have been reaching out asking if referral codes work for Model Y. Unfortunately, it doesn't. No. I appreciate everyone's support and email, but unfortunately, referral codes only work for S, X3, and Solar.
Exactly. And it's just because the Model Y is such a new
They did the same thing with Model 3 when it first came out.
It sells like hotcakes. They don't need to offer that extra little incentive. It would be nice. I'm sure they'll add it eventually. But right now, with these first ones, you're not going to be able to use the referral code. Yeah. Just like with the Cybertruck, you can't use the referral code with the Cybertruck either.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I didn't even think of that. Or Roadster, next gen. Maybe when they get them out. Someone's asking, can be installed a tow hitch on Model Y? So this has actually been a hot topic of debate. Supposedly all Model Ys were going to be coming with a tow hitch, but somebody posted online that their owner advisor said that their Model Y won't come with a tow hitch. Yeah. And so we're kind of unsure why.
We're hoping that if that initial batch doesn't come with them, we're hoping that at least has the hardware underneath that's required, or that it would be something that could be added at a later date. As you might remember with the Model X, it was originally supposed to be offered with an accessory hitch or a full tow hitch, and then later on they just went ahead and gave everyone the full hitch, and it was just included in the back of the car. You could add it plug it in, connect the wires whenever you wanted to. So I'm hoping that if the Model Y doesn't have that, hopefully it will be something that you can just add like that. Or if it does require a little bit more hardware or something on the body of the car, hopefully it would be something that you could add from the Tesla shop, kind of like you can with the HomeLink remote. So we have no confirmation of it coming with a tow hitch yet, but we have seen some photos of some, Model Ys that have been out there in the wild that do have tow hitches on them, or they have a space in the bumper where the tow hitch would go.
It looks like all of them have had the space in the bumper. We've seen some with tow hitches. We even saw one with a dirt bike on the back of it.
Yeah.
So I really think the tow hitches will be a thing. It's a matter of, were they able to get approval to sell OEM tow hitches? Because I know that can be quite a lot of hoops to jump through.
Yeah,
and if they couldn't get it done in time, I imagine they don't want to hold up delivery of Model Ys, because that would not be fun. Hopefully, though, if that's the case, they can add those at a future later date.
Yeah. I saw someone was asking, like, what's the big thing with Model Y? What's the best thing compared to the 3? One is that it's just more space. It's more cargo space.
Yeah.
The hatch on the back.
The hatch will be a big one.
I think, and the higher seating position, maybe a little bit more ground clearance. But I think the hatch is really nice because the Model 3 is great, but I've never had a sedan that had just a trunk. Like I have a Model S that I drive all the time, but it's a hatchback, and you can remove the shelf, fold the seats down, and you have a ton of room. You can fold the seats down in a Model 3, but you still have the little like roof of the trunk that limits how tall the cargo can be. So the Model Y will definitely have more room than the Model 3.
Yeah, it's definitely like a Model 3 and a Model X had a baby.
Yeah.
Out came Model Y. Because I think it gives you a lot of the benefits from the 3 and some of the benefits from X, such as size and the lift gate and everything like that.
And once we take delivery of ours, hopefully later in March, we'll definitely do some comparison videos to show it compared to a Model 3 and the Model S at least, and hopefully Model X as well.
Yeah. Yep. They said they didn't understand the referral question. They got a referral link when you pre-ordered the Cybertruck, never owned a Tesla. So like, I didn't know they were opening it up to pre-orders too, but that's cool. But basically you can get a referral code, and if someone uses that referral code, you end up getting 1,000 miles if they use it on an SX or 3, and they also get 1,000 miles of supercharging.
Yeah, so if it's your referral code, yes, you can still earn it, but it's only if somebody buys an S, an X, or a 3.
Yeah.
So if they want to buy a Cybertruck, while you might get your code from purchasing or putting that reservation in for the Cybertruck, people cannot use the referral code to get those miles when they purchase a Cybertruck.
Yeah.
Or a Model Y.
Yeah. And Got Grapes, that's exactly it. Can't wait to sit up higher in the Model Y. Because that's the biggest complaint I've actually seen with Model 3, especially from, I don't mean to call people older, but anyone that's a little bit older, maybe your knees don't work great. Trust me, mine don't either. It'll be easier to get in and out of the vehicle. So yeah, that's one of the huge benefits over 3 right there. Somebody's asking, any updates on Model Y long range rear wheel drive orders? We haven't heard anything about the rear wheel drive, so I don't know if those will be just even further down the line.
Yeah, I know that some people
are they going to change those?
They had put in orders for those,
right.
But I heard some people were being contacted by Tesla if they did have like the 7-seater or the rear wheel drive, and they were being asked if they wanted to change their order to what will be currently offered initially. So I don't know if it will come eventually, because with the Model X they eliminated the rear wheel drive version. So with the Y, I don't know. I think it would still be nice if they did, because it would be able to keep costs down, and a lot of people might want the benefits of the higher seating position and more cargo, but don't necessarily need all-wheel drive.
Yeah. And then somebody asked when we think they'll add a lease option. So leasing is done through like the banks, and normally banks want to see history of cars and what residual values are. So kind of like Model 3, when they first started selling them, they didn't lease them. It took, what was that, about a year and a half until they started leasing Model 3s. It took some time, and that's when banks were like, oh, okay, cool, we'll start leasing them. So I wouldn't expect leases on Model Y for probably like a year, unfortunately. It's kind of the way it goes. Dan Cameron asked, what about the plastic trim? So on the Model Y, we just don't know for sure. Is this trim around here plastic? or
not
is
chrome.
it metal? We don't know. Now on Model 3, and I believe S and X are the same way. I believe it's actually a plastic trim that's chrome plated. So I would think it's going to be similar, but that's a very good question, and we honestly are not sure yet.
I think, there's two different schools of thought. Some people really like that they finally got rid of the chrome.
Yeah.
Other people miss it. And
What's funny is all these wrap shops that used to do chrome deletes are now going to do chrome additions.
Yeah, it's like they can be a lot of work, but they have been quite popular over the years, and I know a lot of people. We even asked years ago if Tesla could have a chrome delete option, and it's just like they're trying to reduce the number of SKUs and reduce the number of differences just so they can push out that many cars. So it's something you can do after market on your own. But I like how the Y looks with that chrome delete.
We've chrome deleted every Tesla we've owned.
Yeah.
It just actually I take that back.
There's
the SR Plus didn't get chrome deleted because I only kept it for a month.
And the Model 3s that we sold right away, and the Model X which we sold. So there's been a few.
Anything we kept.
Yeah. So
we chrome deleted.
Probably at least 4 or 5 of them we've had the chrome delete done on.
Yeah, and then Got Grapes is saying, wonder if they get enough people to switch that they won't even offer the 7-seater.
It's possible.
It's potential.
I think there's some people that are still interested in it, but it's just...
those last 2 seats are always going to be very tight.
Yeah, Eric got to see that when he went out to the Model Y event last year, and again, those weren't the final production seats, but they were pretty small.
Yeah. Brad, unfortunately, I don't have a delivery date for the Y. As soon as it starts shipping here, I should know more. But again, it depends how much Tesla probably gives their delivery team information-wise. Since they've been kind of, I don't necessarily want to say secretive, but they've kind of made this as like a giant surprise. I don't know how much information they're really going to give to the delivery team. It might just be they show up one day. So, I don't know. Maybe Pi Day would be a fun day.
Yeah, that's like one year since the unveiling. So
exactly.
And also Pi is Pi, but with the performance Y, you could put PY for Pi. So
a lot of fun stuff you could do with that.
Yeah.
So hopefully, Elon, if you're out there and thinking about that, you could really market that in a pretty fun way. Do you think Tesla will give something out like free supercharging to the first owners of Model Y orders when they did, like they did for first orders of Model 3? Something like small die cast of the 3. Oh, I didn't even think of the die cast. That would be pretty fun.
I was wondering about that, but I know there were a lot of complaints because with the Model 3, there was, Elon had mentioned at the unveiling that there was going to be you get something special. You would get something a little bit extra if you reserved on that first date, and a lot of people were wondering, what they were going to get, and they came out with like the little art, which was like a concept drawing of the Model 3, and then later on they came out with a little Model 3, which bigger than a Hot Wheels, but I don't know what the scale would have been. But a lot of people, got those on their first delivery. A lot of people didn't, and then they started giving them away to like everyone, and so I think there was a lot of confusion, or people. Some people were happy, some people were upset because they didn't get one. So I don't know if they're going to go through
David
and do
Cam is
that.
back.
I don't know if they're going to do that again with the Model Y, just because there was a little problem with the Model 3.
Yeah. I don't think they're going to do the supercharging. That kind of originated because the performance upgrade and everything, they started combining it. So that's how some Model 3 performances got free supercharging.
And that was actually, you were charged extra for that. And when someone mentioned how they didn't need it, there were some tweets from Elon, they ended up offering you to get the free supercharging removed from the Model 3, and you could get like a $5,000 refund on what you had just paid for your performance car. So that was an amazing, discount for those of
most people took advantage of that $5,000 refund instead of the free supercharging. Also,
not everybody needs it, but it's definitely good to have. I definitely appreciate it on my Model S, but $5,000 is a pretty good discount.
That's a big chunk of change.
But I haven't heard anything about that for the Y. I don't think we're going to see anything like that for the Y, but it could be wrong.
Got Graves said everyone gets Tesla branded roll toilet paper. That would actually be pretty cool. It sounds stupid, but I'd still be down with that.
Yeah, anything Tesla related.
And then Fiddling says some other news that we missed. Yesterday was the first Tesla delivered in Iceland.
Oh wow! I knew
so that's awesome.
I knew they had recently put in some superchargers. I think close to the service center there. We've been seeing that. So, and I know they have some user group there that has been chatting about that, but that's cool. They finally have the first deliveries. I
should have gone to Iceland.
Did you want to give
don't want to travel a lot.
Yeah. Did you want to give an update on your Model 3 performance?
No.
Okay.
Sorry.
Basically, it's
the
still,
update is I can't tell you an update.
yeah, it's basically still not in the United States.
We can say that.
Yeah.
That is fair. Somebody, I believe it's pronounced Aiden. Sorry if I mispronounced that. If you were to get a Tesla Model Y, would you get third row seat or extra trunk space? So on mine, I opted to just get the 5-seater. Reason being that I don't have anyone small enough to fit in those rear seats.
Yeah.
And I would much prefer that trunk space.
For the car. If you had like a couple little kids, maybe toddlers, or
Yeah.
I don't know, they might still need a booster seat or whatever it's called, but maybe not a car seat. They could probably fit in the third row. But we've just got dogs and stuff like that, so they don't need seats. So
I mean, like
we'd
those
appreciate
seats,
the
though. So I don't have my mic, so I'm going to talk into your
So these
mic.
are actually the third row seats
Of Model X.
for the Model X. And
It's pretty tight because, like, imagine there's this sitting on your side.
yeah, I mean, it's
the
still,
leg room,
we can
I
still
think.
fit. It's no problem sitting
Yeah.
side by side, but as Eric said, it's the leg room because in the Model X, if you have the 7-seater or the 6-seater, there's going to be those seats in front of you.
Yeah.
And if you have the 6-seater, you can put your legs down the middle in the aisle, but they're not going to
Otherwise
have
it's
that.
tight.
They're not going to have that on the Model Y, so the seats aren't going to be as nice. One thing we did see with the Model Y seats is it looks like the headrests might be integrated, like pop up. They might
For
go down.
third row.
We saw some. We don't know if the production model is going to be like that, but we saw the headrest in the third row slid down into the back of the seat,
Yeah.
and that you can fold them forward. You still have that cargo room there. But
Yeah.
I think again for us, we would just get the 5-seater one just because we can use the cargo more than we would ever need 7 seats.
Yeah, exactly. Piero asked, what type of charging equipment will we get? Because I think Model 3 are not getting the same charging kit than the first owners. So yeah, they did change that a little bit.
Yes.
So unfortunately, the new chargers can only go up to, I believe it's 48?
48 amps at least on the Model 3, so I would assume
So we're
it
gonna
would
pull
still
that
be
up
the
real
same
quick.
for the Model Y. That's
Yeah.
still pretty fast, and you can only hit that 48 amps if you do use the Tesla wall connector. If you use the
Yeah.
mobile connector, which comes with the car, and the right adapter, you could get up to 32 amps, but depending on which outlet you plug into. And I probably is not going to come with that 1450
Where
adapter.
are there mobile chargers on here?
There should be a charging section at the top.
Oh, I
but
gotta
basically,
go
the mobile connector probably won't come with that 1450 adapter, just because they stopped offering that for the Model 3. So I doubt you're going to see it with the Model Y.
So basically, this is what you get when you buy. Actually, I believe it's the same on Model S, X, and 3 right now.
Yeah,
we can assume, I guess, the Y. So charging speeds will vary at home and depending on what you're on and everything. But you can buy different.
Yeah, basically in the United
plugs,
States, it would come with a
adapters.
515 adapter, which allows
Yeah.
you to plug into any standard 15 amp outlet. It's going to be really slow though. With the Model Y, you're probably only going to get about 4 miles an hour with that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you go ahead and upgrade to and add in like a 1450 adapter,
Yeah.
you're going to be able to get what 36 or more miles.
30 miles for Model 3,
yeah.
23 miles for Model S, and 20 for Model X,
So that's
roughly.
and that's with because maximum of 32 amps. If you put in the
Right.
wall connector, it would be able to go up, another like 33%. So then you're going to be able to get closer to 36 or more miles, at least on the Model 3. Model Y doesn't get quite the efficiency of a Model
Yeah, not
3, but it's
quite.
still going to be upper 30s if you have a wall connector at 48 amps.
Yeah. So, I mean, definitely, like, if you have the space and everything at home, the wall connectors are probably going to be the best way to go because you can get the fastest charge possible. Now, if you're never concerned with that, or you just really don't want to spend the $500 plus electrician and all that, completely understand. You could easily use your mobile connector that comes with your car. Or if you even wanted to, you could get a corded mobile connector that maybe you could leave at home. Those do have the 1450 built into them already. So there's a lot of good charging options.
And again, you don't have to, if you don't have a 1450 outlet, you might have like a 1430 or
Yeah.
620 or 520. There's all different adapters that are available. So if you probably have a 515 or a 520 outlet in your
Yeah.
car already, and if you get that 520, it's going to give you an extra little mile or two per hour. So it's just a slight bump,
Yeah.
and you probably already have those outlets in your garage if you have a newer house. But if you have a dryer outlet or something in your garage or close by, you can use one of those 1430 instead, and you're going to get like 24 amps out of those.
Yeah, and I mean, they have these all on here. They're $35 a piece.
So it's nice that, you don't have to buy them if you don't need them, but
Exactly.
it's not too expensive if you do want to buy them. And at one time we had a set of all of them, but I think we gave them away or sold them or something.
Yeah, most of them
we don't need those
gave
again
away to
more 'cause
friends.
we just use the wall connectors.
Yeah, it's nice to have, especially if you don't want to necessarily pay for an electrician to come put in a wall connector. That's your easy option for $35. You can use pretty much any of those. So great charging question, because that's a good one that we get quite often, actually. Let's see here. The nerd says, are they going to use the same seats in the Cybertruck? So I doubt it. They're probably going to use the same material, but when we went to the Cybertruck launch, the seats were definitely different. The benches different, the front seats were different. They had different parts on like the back of the seat, but I would hope that they use the same material because it's really nice. HP said you get free water at delivery, so that's always fun. But yeah, the one by us, just like Got Grape said, they have pastries and coffee and all kinds of cool
like
stuff.
Cookies or
Oh yeah, they have really good cookies occasionally, so get that while you can. Somebody said, any word on Model Y's 5-seater cubic feet of space? So, I'm not 100% sure if they've added that.
It wasn't like 68 or something around there.
Did they add that to the?
I saw it somewhere. It's somewhere in the 60s. I think it's right around the size of a Model S, but we'll
So it says max
measure.
cargo space is 66 cubic feet.
66, okay.
For Model Y. And then just to compare it for like a Model 3, you're looking at a max cargo space of... that just says 15 cubic feet of cargo, not max cargo.
But we'll definitely measure out the volume and that once we get ours
totally.
and let you know so you can compare it to...
And I think the biggest thing is we're going to be doing another ball pit video.
Definitely. Yeah.
And there will be prizes on that, so make sure you have your fingers ready to submit your guesses. If you're not familiar and you're new to the channel, we actually bought 10,000 ball pit balls a year ago? 2 years ago?
It was many years ago.
And we, I bought them because I pranked David in his Model S, and then we put them
Probably
in
2017 then, yeah.
Yeah, and then we put them in Model 3, and we put them in Model X, and it's just kind of a fun way where we can kind of compare the volumes.
Yeah, so
between the
basically
models.
we count the balls
Every
we put
single
in,
one.
and if you go back and watch the videos for the S, the 3, and the X, you can see that the X definitely has a lot more volume than the Model 3. But we did that video last May. The videos for the Model S was probably back at the beginning of 2017. The Model 3 was sometime in 2018. But you can definitely find those videos. We're going to do the same thing with the Model Y.
Yeah. I can't wait. They're always fun videos to do. They take a lot of time, though, because we got to clean the garage because it's muddy and I don't want mud all over them. But it's a lot of fun to just kind of play around.
And it's just neat to see how much. It's amazing how many balls you can fit in that car.
Yeah.
There's a lot of storage space in those cars.
Yeah.
Especially with the frunk, and we pack them in up to the roof. So it's a little easier on the Model S because we have the sunroof and we could keep putting them in on the top. But with the X last year, it was a little more difficult trying to stick them in there.
Yeah. Now, Love Reasoning has a question. Does having a good credit score allow you to pay less for leasing a Tesla? Sort of just getting the hang of credit after high school. I'm honestly not sure on leasing. I've actually never leased a car. But yes, credit score will influence like loans and stuff like that. Not sure on leasing. Are you familiar with leasing, David?
No, I've never leased a car either. But I would assume that the better the credit, I don't know, but I knew that, actually I don't know, because I know they have like I don't know, one of our other viewers I'm sure can.
Yeah, hopefully somebody else can chime in that might have a lease, because I think with leases, I think the big thing is once you can pay the down payment, the lease payment might be set.
I don't know.
That's a really good question. I honestly don't know. I don't know if any of you else watching happen to have leased or know the details, drop it in there, because that would be super helpful.
Hey, Eric, I sent you a couple more screenshots.
Oh, we got some more screenshots. Okay. Let's pull up some other screenshots here. Oh, we got 3 of them. Cool. Let me delete some of these because I have a ton of windows open right now. But yeah, so some other news. Solar. How has solar production been going?
So, kind of off and on again this week. We had a pretty good day. Our best day so far this year was yesterday. We got over 95, almost 100 kilowatt
Almost.
hours in one day, which is amazing because in the past with our old solar system last year, we didn't reach that until like a month later, almost in April. So to see this in the end of February, it's amazing. And 95, 0.8 kilowatt hours, people might not know how much energy that is, but the average household only probably uses about 30 kilowatt hours per day in the United States. So basically, with our solar system, we produced almost enough power to charge 3 regular average households. And of course, we have a higher energy. Okay, so anyways, back to this first graph. So you can see that we had three cars charging in the morning. One was charging from like midnight till 2, another one charged from 2 till 4. Another one actually kicked in right there at 4, but it hadn't been driven, so it only charged for a few minutes.
Just a little bit.
And then I topped mine off again, it looks like about 5, 6 a.m. And then Eric preheated his car there shortly before 8. And then you can see the solar coming up. This was a perfect solar day. And then when I got home from work, I knew that we were going to do some extra drives after work. So I went ahead and plugged my car in, and you can see the Powerwall took over. And the reason why the Powerwall took over and totally charged the car there is because you can see that little white highlight, and that means that we were in the peak power pricing period in the afternoon, which where we live goes from 2 p.m. until 6 p.m. And that's why the Powerwall kicks in, because when you're in that peak period, we have it programmed so that the Powerwall will provide all power to the house, even if we're charging our cars. And that means that all of our solar production can be exported directly to the grid, and we make that many credits by sending all that power back to the grid.
Yeah, it really helps on those days where sun isn't very plentiful. We can still get kind of our power from the sun that excels just as kind of, in a sense, just like holding on their grid.
And then again, at the very end of the day, that green line bar graph shows that we charged the car again and again. Yep. All of that power came from the Powerwalls. And for those of you wondering what is below at the bottom of the grid, the green part on the bottom shows when the solar at the top is charging the Powerwalls. All that green down below is all the solar power goes into the Powerwalls, and then when it turns white like that, that shows that all of that power is going back to the grid. And so if you also look at the numbers, we actually sent more back to the grid yesterday than what we took. We took 45.4 kilowatt hours and sent 55 back out of that 95. The rest of it went into directly powering the house, or 33 went back into the Powerwalls, which is then used to power the house the next day.
Yeah, so a lot of fun stuff. Someone did ask the total size of our solar system, since we have done a few additions.
Yeah, our total system, well, originally it was like 16.575 kilowatts. We added 3.9, almost 4 kilowatts at the end of last year. So now we have like a 20.5 kilowatt system. It's a huge system, like extra large. Tesla doesn't even offer by default a system that big. Their systems are typically small, medium, large, and they do have an extra large. Tesla systems are those 4 kilowatts, 8 kilowatts, 12 kilowatts, and 16 kilowatts. Most people could probably get by, if you're just like a one Tesla household, probably with 8 kilowatts. And if you don't even have a Tesla, if you're just interested in solar, you might be able to get by with 4. But since we do have multiple cars, we tried to get the biggest system possible, and that's why we have 20.5.
Yeah, we definitely went big. Most people don't need anything close to that.
One thing
we just have a lot of cars to charge. And
and one thing too is your power company, depending on where you live, they might limit how much you're allowed to put in. Where we were only allowed to put in 16.5 kilowatts the first year. Then we had to go a year on our system and prove that we were still drawing enough power from the grid that we needed or wanted more solar, but we actually needed it because we didn't have a big enough system to cover all of our usage. So that's why we were able to add an additional 4 kilowatts.
Yeah. We do have some information on leasing and loans. Thank you to everybody for putting all that in the chat. We'll go over that real quick because we can even learn a thing or two about leasing. Jim says leasing and loans both require credit checks, but they are harder on loans. Let's see. Mr. Barna says, hi, David and Eric. Hi. Leasing is awesome, so I assume you lease. And then I just saw this. Someone said Tesla didn't approve for a loan, but a credit union did. Yeah, so I actually had an interesting story on my first Tesla. Won't get into too many details, But yeah, I had plenty, and then like one place approved me, and then at the last minute didn't approve me, and yada yada. You just sometimes need to shop around for who's going to give you the best rate too, because sometimes you'll get approved by multiple places, but the rates will vary extremely differently. So do some shopping around for sure. Let's see. Barna says, it's a way to lower your payments and get a new car every 3 years. So the only thing that I don't like about leases is the mileage restriction, because that's completely real. But also you're going to have a car payment basically in perpetuity. So that's one reason why I'm not huge on leases.
Yeah, because, well, just, the lease will end after 3 years, but then you get another lease because you're not going to have a car anymore.
Exactly. So that's one reason why I haven't. Should I, though? We probably should have leased the S.
In this case, the Model S 100D that we have bought almost 3 years ago, we bought it and we were, been 100%, satisfied with it. But the problem is it doesn't have the latest and greatest hardware, and the price has come way down in the last 3 years. And we could have, if we would have leased a Model S 3 years ago, and even if we paid like $1,000 a month for a lease payment, it would actually come out to be what you can get a new Model S for these days. So kind of missed out on that by not doing a lease. But this way, we still have the car and we can sell it or trade it in.
And we don't have the mileage
we don't have to worry about
restriction.
miles, because we have gone over 40,000 miles. In a typical lease, we probably would have only been able to do 36,000. So we don't have to worry about however many miles. And we've done a lot of mods on that car too, with the dorsal plates and the puddle lamps and the rear applique. We've done a lot of things. So you probably don't want to make all those modifications if you're just leasing the car.
Yeah. And then kind of like Jim said, back to the whole, like, depends who you go through. Credit unions, like you said, they have their own rules, and they're a lot smaller. They operate differently. And credit unions honestly have some of the better rates sometimes. So especially if you can get into one of those credit unions, sometimes they have certain requirements. I know some are like you have to be in the military or... What happened back there?
I almost spilled my drink when putting it back into the cup holder.
You guys almost got a live reaction to cleaning white seats.
Yeah, they probably saw me. Yeah, we can do a demonstration one of these days. Pull out the baby wipes and stuff. But yeah. So like financing is always going to be a little tricky. There's no one place that's better to go with than the other. It's better just kind of shop around. And the rates change all the time. If you look online, there's a lot of websites that will tell you the auto loan rates for various credit unions and banks, and it's amazing how you can pay half as much at some. And but also check out the right now we're talking about I don't know, Tesla has often had the best rates, and sometimes it's even less than what you can find. We've
had really good success with the Tesla financing.
Yeah, basically, it's not as good now as what it used to be, but when we bought our first Teslas, we were getting like 1.49% or something. It was almost like free money. And I know rates have gone up, they might be like 3-something% now, but it's still a lot less than in the past when it was like, 8 or 10%.
Yeah. And sometimes you could potentially pay more if you finance it versus lease it. It really depends on your situation, how much money you want to put down, how long you plan on keeping the car, and if you want an easy way to get out of it. Leasing, there are several sites nowadays like Swap-A-Lease and stuff like that if you want to get out of one. But it used to not be that easy. I see some comments about the channel name. Is it Derek or Eric? Okay, so it's a little confusing. I'm Eric.
And I'm David.
So we have some software and everything, and we've actually kind of combined for our name, and it's DA from David
yes.
And Eric from me to make Derek. So that's kind of where that came
But
from.
we just pronounce it Derek. It's just Derek.
A lot of people come up to us and they're like, hey, Derek.
Or Derek and stuff like that. It's just Derek.
It's totally fine, but it is just Derek.
And we just like the cool AE symbol in there. So Derek.
Yeah, the AE symbols is pretty awesome, and it's very unique. So yeah, just a little sidebar on that one. But somebody said here that they were leasing their solar. The solar lease is actually a great deal.
Yeah,
we probably would have done that if we would have had the chance back then.
Yeah, and also Tesla, rents solar in some places, so it's not even a lease.
Oh yeah, sorry. The renting of solar is probably the best deal in my opinion.
Yeah, but again, I think it's still only in limited states. But that was an amazing deal because it was just so cheap. It's an easy way for anybody to get in, and you don't have to put hardly any money down. It's just like a monthly payment. Yeah,
it's not bad at all. Let's see.
I know that when they first rolled it out, it was only in 5 states, but I don't know if it's still limited to those 5 states.
Yep. Let's see here. What else is there? I'm trying to filter through some of the questions. George is asking about the dimensions of Model Y. Is it wider than the 3? So we don't know exactly.
I've heard it's wider, but we don't have any confirmation that we don't have a tape measure yet. We haven't measured one.
As soon as we can, we will definitely be measuring all that. But unfortunately, as of right now, no. So I would expect it to probably be very similar size-wise to Model 3 because it's supposed to use the same chassis. So I would guess it's pretty close. But I guess we'll find out. Hopefully soon enough. Maybe in a week or 2 for some deliveries. Dave is talking about how... Are you talking about leasing, Dave? I'm not sure. But if you lease and you have it under your business, that can be good too. Not going to lie. Depends on what your situation is. Sorry, let me go hide some of these because please don't put your email address or any of that in the chat, please, because that's not great. Vince is asking, do you think Tesla will ever offer their own financing? Potentially, but doing their own financing is going to carry it all on their books, and that's probably not ideal, especially not in the situation. It's easier for banks to just do it, in my opinion.
Yeah, somebody else brought up the point with the Model 3 that they're not allowing you to buy the car at the end of the lease, and that's something that's a little different. It's not typical with a lease. Yeah,
and I'm curious to know if they stick with that. Hi, Mr. Kit. Sorry, Kit came in and he's wondering what's going on. I'm curious to know if they're going to change that because originally they said...
it must be getting close to dinner time.
Must be getting close.
He knows what time it is. It's 9 minutes past dinner time.
It's weird, though, that they won't let you buy it, that they're going to put it on the Tesla network. But if the Tesla network is delayed, they might let you. So
yeah, exactly. We haven't heard any more.
He's going to make it a little bad.
Concrete details on that. So I wouldn't be surprised. It would be nice if they did start allowing those to be leased out or to purchased at the end of the lease, sorry.
Yeah. Pierre asks, any info on insurance on Y? Unfortunately, not yet. As soon as I get mine, we'll definitely do a rate comparison to Model 3. My guess is it's probably going to be a little bit expensive or more expensive than 3.
About the same as the 3.
But I don't think it's going to be that much different than the 3 because the price is very similar, etc. So, yeah. Alexander says, when is Model Y Performance upgraded white seats going to be delivered? So mine that is preparing for delivery has the white interior.
Yeah.
I haven't heard anything else, but it's been going through with the white interior. So I would think it's with the first ones, which is
yeah, we're
awesome.
hoping, because I know that black might, we've seen some surveys and stuff, and it looks like about 2/3 of people are choosing black, 1/3 of people choosing white.
Yep.
There's still a large number of people with that white, and we definitely love the white. We've had it on every car it's been available on, and we'll continue to choose it. But some people have said, well, it's they're going with black just because of the volume, and I can understand that. But if they're going by the margin, the white's going to probably cost about the same as the black to produce, but they're going to be making that extra $1,000 per car. So I'd hope that they would come out with the white as about the same time as the black.
Yeah. Love Reason says, is it possible to own a Tesla without a home as long as I have a long range Model 3 and don't exceed the 20 to 90% range? I know a lot of people in apartments or even renting homes that can't charge at their house because their renter won't allow it, and they have no problem. They just are going to have to depend a little bit more on public charging. Yeah. So just kind of keep that in mind. Doesn't necessarily have to be the Tesla network.
Yeah. It's definitely possible, but the nice thing about if you do have a home and where you can charge is that you don't ever have to worry about that. You just plug it in at night or in the morning whenever you get home, and you don't have to worry about scheduling that charge. If you're going to live in an apartment or someplace where you don't have home charging, then you're going to have to, it's kind of like buying gas. You're going to have
a little bit more to think about.
Yeah, you don't necessarily have to do it every night. Since the battery would be big enough for the long range, you could do it once a week. And with my first Model S, 90D, I would typically charge it once a week at work because I had free solar power workplace charging, and that got me by for years, no problem.
Yeah.
And I just knew that I was going to charge 1 day a week, and as long as you're not doing some huge road trip, don't need to change your schedule at all. Now, if you don't have workplace charging and you're going to do a road trip, then going to have to plan ahead and charge in advance. But the nice thing is they are expanding the supercharger networks, so they're more available than ever. But there are all those public chargers that you could still use with the J1772 adapter, which should still be included with all Model S, S3, and Y.
Yeah. PSY Tech asks when they will get a VIN number. So I have a feeling Model Y VIN numbers, you're probably not even going to get it till like the day before, because I'm not sure how their allocation is. I don't know if they're allocating it at the factory and shipping it with VIN assigned, or they're assigning it kind of at the delivery centers. Kind of like, I believe they do that more with Model 3 now. Yeah, normally S and X, you get a VIN assigned early on.
Yeah, the S and X are, at least in the past, were built to order, or they're very specific to the buyer. With the Model 3, it's more mass market, and they typically just build a bunch of them, different color combinations and interior combinations, and then just kind of ship them out.
Yeah.
And then
I think that was why they did like their survey of like when can you not take delivery, so they could kind of gauge where they need to send cars.
And so basically we're probably figuring out where to load things up. But the cool thing is it looks like they're sending them all around the country.
Yeah. Now we do have somebody asking any idea when Model Y will be delivered to Europe. My guess would be probably not till next year. Maybe later this year.
Maybe later this year, but it's not. It's not going to be first quarter.
Definitely.
I don't even think second quarter, but you never know. Yeah.
I would be surprised if it was there by third quarter. I'm thinking more like fourth quarter, but more realistically, probably 2021.
Because they're all different. Like I think homologation.
The homologation,
whatever. I can't pronounce the word, but they have to do all these additional tests whenever they go into a different country. And
we haven't seen any Y spottings in Europe.
Yeah.
And if they're doing all these testings, I'm sure people
would be spotting them and posting pictures. Yeah.
Yep. Let's see. Let's see. I love reasons, pros and cons of buying a Tesla with cash. There's actually quite a few. One, you don't have the cash. Con. Pro, you don't have a car payment. Another big thing though that a lot of people are doing nowadays is getting a lease, getting a loan, putting as little money down as possible, and using the cash they could have used to buy it to invest in some manner. And I know some people that are doing very, very, very well at that and able to buy multiple Teslas off what they could have just put down on their one. So it really depends on the situation.
Yeah, but if you don't have, also look, tax situations, it might be better to have a monthly payment instead of paying it all off, just because you might be able to deduct it if you have a home business or some sort of business. So it just depends on your tax situation. But also, if you're retired or not, there's all sorts of variables. Definitely
check with an accountant. I'd probably be your best
bet. I'd say though
bet.
now, things are a little uncertain nowadays, and somebody was asking the other day, is like, I guess he was planning on paying cash, and I was like, well, if you're worried about spending that much cash, just get a loan, because then you have to put down the down payment. It's probably going to be like $6,000 or something like that.
Oh, and like Vince says, it helps with your credit score if you do a loan.
Yeah, because it shows that history, the payment history. But I would just get a loan, and then that way too, you can get out of it. You can sell the car at any time, but you can get that money back when you trade it in.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Somebody was asking what questions I choose to answer. Chat moves oftentimes so fast that I miss some. So if I have missed yours, sorry, just go ahead and repost it. But I try to answer all of them.
Yeah, it's
as much as I can.
Chat, the more people are in the chat room, the faster the chat scrolls off the screen. And if we
sometimes
lose spot,
like the chat on this screen, like will all of a sudden jump to the very end, and it will skip a bunch, and trying to go back can be kind of tough. But I am trying to answer as many as possible. So if for some reason we miss yours, please just like repost it in there. I'm not intentionally trying to skip some of them. Some of them, I'm not going to tell you how much money I make a year. I get that question a lot. There's some personal stuff I'm just not going to talk about. That's one of them. Michael has a good question though. They would like our opinion on their car. They're trying to sell their 60 kilowatt, 111,000 mile Autopilot 1, all black, in and out, with slipstreams, for $26,000.
Well, that seems like
That
a good
actually seems
price.
like a really good deal.
I was trying to see. I didn't know you were going to say what the price was, but when I hear that price, that seems really.
That seems
good
like a
price.
reasonable price
Yeah,
to me.
Definitely.
So I don't see an issue with that. I think that's really good.
And it has autopilot 1, so that's
I probably would have priced it
better-
even a little bit higher.
That's better than a car without autopilot, and
Yeah.
and, yeah.
Especially if your car is like software locked to 60, but can be upgraded to like the 75.
Yeah, some of the later
some
ones
of
had that.
those. If it can do that, I would say that adds even more value.
I mean, hopefully it's in good condition, but that sounds like a good price for an S60.
Yeah. C asked, do you remember the referral program? Of course, loved it. It was very nice of Tesla to do that. Launching image into deep space. Any updates on that from Tesla? I haven't, but I think we'll see more of that probably when like SpaceX starts ramping up a lot more.
Hopefully, because there was also mention in the referral program for some people who got to the secret levels that they would be able to send a time capsule, which was more than just that image, a whole time capsule. We don't know what that involves, so it'd be nice if we could get some updates on that. We'll have to ask next time we're at an event.
Yeah. Also, please don't list your age in chat. That can get us in trouble with YouTube and get you in trouble with YouTube. So, yes, please, and thank you. If you'd like to chat about Tesla, by all means, please do. But let's just keep it friendly in the chat. Tesla McBird has a good question. Trade in your Model 3 for a Y or keep it for use in the Tesla network? That's a really good question, actually. And do we think the value will go up after full self-driving is activated? I definitely think as soon as they really push a lot of that software, I think the valuation is going to go up on used cars that can do that. Now, do we keep the Model 3 or not? Issue number one is garage space. We only have spots for 4 cars, and right now we have 4. So adding a 5th one would mean someone gets booted outside, and it could potentially hail here, and I just don't want to deal with that. So I think it's best to probably trade in the 3 now. Now, when the network is active, maybe I would buy another one and put it on there.
Yeah, at least in our situation, we're going to go ahead and trade in. We got a quote for a trade in from Tesla, and we're just going to take it in, drop off. I guess we don't have a fob that you're using with that one, but I guess we'll turn in a key card and hand them that one whenever you take delivery of the Y.
Yep. Now someone has a question. What do we think about the patents Tesla recently filed for the casting process? I definitely think they're going to bring that to Teslas soon, but I don't think it's going to be with Y. I think it's too soon. Stuff like that can take quite a while to get set up. Now, I would love to be pleasantly surprised, but I don't think it's going to happen, at least not with Y's probably this year. It might be something that they're setting up at the new Gigafactory, maybe in Texas. Maybe they can use that for Cybertruck. Well, actually, Cybertruck's not going to really have... I guess it'll have some casting parts.
There might be some that aren't like solid sheets.
Yeah, I imagine that's going to be a little bit further down the line, unfortunately. Still fun though, and I say same thing with like all the wiring and everything. I don't think Y is really going to have that much wiring difference than 3 at the moment, because that stuff takes a lot of time to get right also.
Yeah, originally Elon had mentioned they were going to really totally redo the wiring compared to the S and the 3, but they wanted to try to bring it to market a lot sooner, so I don't think they went ahead with that. I think they just kind of kept it simple, and I'm sure they've optimized some things, but they didn't totally redo it from scratch.
Yeah.
I was going to say, just at one time there was talk they were going to get rid of the 12-volt battery entirely. Don't think that's happened yet, but if they do, we'll let you know. That'll be a pleasant surprise.
Yeah. Let's see. T-Rex 36 is asking, do you think you'll be able to open the cover and or tailgate from the Tesla app on Cybertruck? Definitely. I would think so. Yep. I actually, now that you mention it though, I'm excited to see the Cybertruck key fob. If they do a key fob, what that would look like. Is that going to be a little truck?
I don't know. Do you have like a sample here?
Where are my other key fobs?
I don't know.
Oh, well, I have a key fob right here.
Yeah, but I thought you had a little Cybertruck. Yeah, I'm not seeing it. We've got all these other different things, but I don't see that.
So Model S key fob. I actually keep it in this handy dandy abstract ocean case. Get one at the link below. But like the Model S key fob, I'm trying to get this out of here. without pushing any of the buttons and making the doors open. Let's see here. Looks like the fob pocket is giving birth to it. So
nice
it
fit.
looks like a little Model S. So is the Cybertruck going to look like a little Cybertruck?
And we have like
That should be really cool.
Yeah.
Hopefully they're working on that. Tesla engineers, if you are watching this video, please suggest that to somebody. Love,
I'm sure
yours
they've thought
truly.
of it because the other cars look like that. So.
Yeah, it's actually a really good idea. Let's see. Somebody said they're really trying to hold out for the Cybertruck. Yeah, it should be pretty epic.
Yeah, it'll be pretty neat.
Honestly, though, are you more excited for Y or Cybertruck?
I don't know. I'm always excited about the next thing.
That's
so
true.
right now I'm excited about the Y.
That's true.
But I mean,
I'm very excited for Y, but I actually think I'll be more excited for Cybertruck.
Yeah, it's because it's totally different. The Y, excuse me, is just a step up from the 3 in new features and size. So it's not brand new. We know what it looks like, but the Cybertruck is totally different, and it just total different versatility with all the cargo space, and the Cybertruck will be neat.
Yeah. Somebody was asking me how much money I'm losing on the 3 when I trade it in for the Y. I'm still waiting on the final trade-in quote because I got one, but it had expired because it was older. So I'm still waiting on the new one, but I would expect that to probably be a video.
Yeah,
maybe
we'll have details once we get.
Yeah, once I get the final trade-in and everything.
But
I'll be 100% transparent.
The nice thing about Colorado is we have these. We still have a state tax credit, which really helps.
Yeah.
And when we bought that Model 3, it was a $5,000. $5,000 state tax credit, and I think $1,875 federal.
Yeah.
So that helps. With our final numbers.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. That'll really help. Jim is asking when we think Cybertruck will come out, maybe end of year. He's read that you can write it off the first year for greater than 50% business use as it's over 6,000 pounds. So yeah, there's actually I don't know who came up with it, but somebody came up with the EV Hummer tax kind of name, but it's section 179 EV credit.
Yeah.
And yeah, anything over 6,000 pounds, you can actually write off if you use it as a business.
It's not necessarily EV. It's just any vehicle over 6,000 pounds.
So any vehicle over 6,000 pounds, you can write off the first year if you use it for business. So a lot of business friends actually bought Model X's for their business because of that. It's kind of a nice little thing. Now, Ray is saying he pays $205 for insurance in LA for a Volt, and a mid-range Model 3, it would cost him $1,200 a month. How can you justify that?
That's crazy.
You can't justify that.
Yeah.
I'll agree with you 110%. I would shop around for insurance, though, because that seems like highway robbery.
I think for our Model S, I pay less. I pay maybe $800 a year. So if you're paying $1,200 a month, that's insane.
Ridiculous. Yeah. Wow. Okay. So there's a lot more chat messages. So this is sometimes where it can skip. Have we ever tried getting an interview with Elon or Franz? What was the outcome? We haven't. Maybe we should try.
Yeah, we've seen them. We've seen them, and we've talked. We've
high-fived. We've talked
at many of the events, but yeah, we haven't gone one-on-one in a conversation.
Vince asked, "What are we most excited about for the Y?" The size, the functionality, the rear hatch. It's just going to be a lot more room than 3.
A lot more room in the back, yeah.
I can actually sleep in the back. I mean, you can sleep in the back of 3, but the Y will be a lot easier. Let's see. Sorry, I'm going to speed around some questions just so we can get back down to where it kind of is. Let's see.
So I saw someone was asking if they have to pay back the incentive. In Colorado, you don't have to pay. You don't have to keep the car at all. Once you buy it and get it registered, there's no limitation on how long. You just have to buy the car without the intention of selling it. So there's no limitation. I know in other places you have to maybe keep the car for 2 or 3 years, and if you sell the car before those 2 or 3 years, you then have to pay back part of that tax credit or the incentive. But fortunately in Colorado we don't have that. But whenever we've bought cars, we've we bought the SR Plus back in September. We were totally planning on keeping that car for 6 months or at least, but then we got a good deal on an all-wheel drive long range, and so 3 weeks later we ended up trading in that SR Plus for the long range one. And
Jim asked, do we plan on going to Battery and Drivetrain Day? Yes, tentatively. Gonna see how this whole traveling stuff works out.
Yeah,
first.
hopefully, and plus we don't have no idea when that's going to be yet. Hopefully sometime April or May, but
Yeah.
we'll know more once we get the date.
Yep. Blue Jay, do you think the $9,000 upgrade on Model 3 from standard range plus to long range is worth it? Asking for a friend. I do, because it's not just the range, which the range is something that you really can't add after the fact. So range is going to be a big difference, but it's also the interior. The SR Plus has a more limited interior than the long range. Long range has that premium interior option. So there's a lot of other options that go into it rather than just like battery size. So other things to look at depends. If you're going to have people in the back seat and you want heated seats back there, you could now do the SR Plus and add that as an option. I believe it's $300
Yep.
through the Tesla app.
Yeah.
So now that they've opened up some more stuff like that, it makes that $9,000 seem a little bit higher. But there's still some other premium features you get.
And also we've heard a lot of people, they're totally satisfied with their SR Plus. It's an amazing car. They can do road trips and everything. But a lot of them just wish they could go, maybe they should have gotten, a little further, gotten that bigger battery, because you can still do these road trips, but you're going to have to charge longer just because you're going to have to fill your battery up higher and drain it more, and so it's just going to make those supercharger stops a little bit longer. But we had an SR Plus and we were able to drive across Kansas no problem. So it still works on road trips.
Dave says, who do you think will do the first Model Y teardown? How soon in weeks? Well, it will not be us, because I'll tear it apart to a certain degree, but I'm not going to do like full teardown. I think Sandy would probably be best for that. And I honestly don't know. I would say probably by end of year, by the latest. C said, can we watch your Ridgebacks eat?
We'll have to, maybe one day we can
maybe
down here, but
we'll do like a Ridgeback cam.
They kind of eat, they're pretty loud, but yeah,
they're very
one of
loud
these days.
and they're kind of messy. Somebody said, I can't even imagine carrying around a Cybertruck key fob. Yeah, what if it's at like metal? No, I guess the signal wouldn't go through it.
Yeah.
That would be pretty cool. I don't know. Fun facts. Vince has a good question. How often, or what do we use most often? The fob, the phone app, or the key card? So for the Model 3, I strictly use my phone. I don't use the fob. I got the fob for video, and I just don't like extra stuff in my pockets.
And because we don't have any other keys, like that's the only key I have for the Model S is the Model S key fob. So that's what I use when I'm driving. But for the Model 3, the phone works, and it's worked probably 99 point something % of the time. Yeah. And when it doesn't work, I just have to open up the app and click unlock, and it works.
Yeah.
And there are some other things you can use. For those of you who don't want to use key cards, there are actually some people who are coming out with little rings.
Yeah.
And they're pretty nice. We had one, and it was like, I think, ceramic material. It felt like a nice ring, but basically they put an RFID chip in there, and then you can use that instead of the key card to open your car.
Yeah. A lot of other cool options. I mean, you can even implant it into your skin.
Yeah, I don't think I'd go
lady
for that.
did that. So, I mean, you can go all out if you really want to. Let's see. See, and then chat just skips like that.
Yeah,
so
mine's like,
we're gonna. Yeah, there's a lot of messages. Holy crap! I do not have Tesla insurance, so I don't believe it's currently offered yet in Colorado.
So I see.
Who do we have for insurance? I mean,
still have Travelers.
Travelers. I used to have Progressive. Definitely just shop around. I think there's actually some websites that consolidate, like you put in your information and it gives you like different quotes from different companies. So maybe try that, but definitely shop around for insurance, because if you're paying $1,200 or your quote was $1,200 for a month on a Model 3, that's far too much.
But some of that could be due to the driving record. So, you have to have a clean driving record,
I guess, yeah.
and no accidents and tickets and stuff. And that will definitely affect your insurance. There are some other companies, especially in California, where you can actually pay like per mile. So that might be something you could look into. If you don't drive a lot, it could be a lot cheaper if you just pay per mile.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see.
I saw someone was asking about the Supercharger Supercharger referral miles. Basically, you can't earn those on a purchase of a Y, but I believe you should be able to still redeem those. So if you have another car on your account, then any car on that account should be able to use it. So
that's what we've done with the Model 3.
Exactly. We have a Model 3. When we had an X, it was able to use those. Model S has free supercharging, but any car on the account. So I assume that the Y will be able to still use those referral miles.
Yeah. Let's see. Somebody said we should turn our supercharger plug into a beverage dispenser.
Oh, yeah,
that's brilliant.
That's interesting, yeah, because,
That's a great idea.
We'd have to get some plumbing going on here, but we,
But look, it's got like multiple ports. We could do like different beverages.
Yeah, look at that. We can. Oh, you can't.
We could do mixed drinks with it.
Oh yeah,
I'm not.
We could change some.
Saying alcoholic drinks.
Yeah, we'll have to consider that. So
that's actually a really good idea.
Look into the bar.
Thank you, Owen. That's a really good idea. We're gonna have to figure that out. That could be epic. Actually, then we got to take it to like parties.
Yeah, it's kind of heavy.
Big drink dispenser. OMG, Tesla wants to know what your favorite Tesla is, David.
Like I said before, I still prefer the Model S. It's just a little nicer looking, a little more comfortable, a little quieter, a little better on road trips, in my opinion. I do like the cargo because it's a hatchback, so you can fit a lot of stuff in the back. I like the Model S.
Yeah. Model S is a great car.
But with the
sometimes when I drive the S, I get a little jealous. Still.
I still like, too, that the Model S has that separate little stalk for turning on autopilot. I know a lot of people,
I've gotten used to the single.
The single one on the Model 3, but I like it because it's very easy with that one control to adjust, speed up or down, turn it on and off. But, the Y is coming out, and I really like the Y because it's a little more versatile than the 3 was. As I said before, I've never had a sedan, and when the Model S is a good fit for me with the hatchback, and with the Model Y having a hatch on the back, I had before my Tesla, I had a small SUV, a Honda CR-V for like a long time, and it long time. But it fit my needs perfectly because it could hold cargo, could hold people, could hold dogs, and so I think the Model Y, maybe I would change my opinion, but. Another thing I like about the Model S... I
can't wait to see you in the Model Y and see what you think.
But another thing I like about the Model S is the screen behind the steering wheel. I know you can totally drive the Model 3 without that screen up there, but I just like being able to customize the display and have, either navigation up there or the energy graph or music. That's something that's missing in the 3. If the 3 had a heads-up display or an optional display up there, I might like the 3 a little more.
Yeah. No, I agree with you there. Silver Wing says, how did you get that supercharger in your room?
Well, we carried it downstairs.
Yeah, carried it downstairs. Actually, it fit in the back of a Model S.
Yeah.
So back when Tesla had a lot more like stuff in their store locations, when they were a little bit newer, they actually had these in their store locations. Turns out in one state, which I will not necessarily name, somebody found this at the dumpster outside of a store location that was getting rid of it, and they grabbed it because it was at a dumpster to get thrown out. And threw it up on eBay, and I just happened to pay a stupid amount of money for it.
Yeah,
and here it is.
And one of our previous videos from a year or so back, we actually opened it up. It is a real supercharger.
All the internal
you can
parts.
see where all the wiring is connected at the top. You can see the cabling where it's connected. So it is a real supercharger. It was just never actually installed.
And it actually has the Tesla lit up. You can turn it off real quick, David, and they can see.
Yeah. So basically, that's out of service.
In service.
But yeah, it's nice. But again, back then in the day, the Tesla stores, people didn't know what a supercharger was because the supercharger network was so small. So they put these in stores so you could see where you need to go to charge.
And kind of get used to like how to use it.
And they also had like models of the inside of the Tesla, the sled or whatever it was called, showing the interior of the car.
Is it sled or skateboard?
Skateboard.
Skateboard. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, actually really fun. I built my own. That's actually in the garage because Tesla wouldn't sell them. So I did that. Helmuth asks, off topic. It's not really off topic. It's actually a really good question. Any updates on the Autopilot 3 upgrades for MCU 1? And the answer is...
Same as last week. Still no updates.
Oh, you look so depressed.
Yeah. We've been waiting
for 3 years?
Almost 3 years.
So still nothing on that.
Last we've heard is they're still updating people who have AP 2.5 with MCU 2. So basically, any model or S or X that's been built since about March of 2018. They're also upgrading some of these Model 3s that only had 2.5 when they were first delivered. But all Model 3s have like the MCU 2. They never had MCU 1. So any Model 3 that had 2.5, which is all of them, would be available to get an upgrade if you've purchased full self-driving.
Yeah. And my favorite Tesla OMG is probably right now going to be the 3. I love S. I've been driving the S more frequently to try to keep miles low on the 3 because I'm probably going to trade it in. And I absolutely love the S, but the technology and everything in the 3 almost feels like a little bit further advanced.
Yeah. With that said, though, with the Raven,
The Ravens help make that up, but I still really like that air vent style.
Yeah, but you know the refreshed S, if it ever comes
hopefully
out,
it does.
you know, maybe the Plaid S might have those same air vents in it. So I think if it does, that's really gonna set the S and the 3 apart even more.
Yeah, I'm also a huge fan of that landscape display. They need to bring that to S and X.
And we've seen prototypes, you know, that had both the horizontal screen or the vertical screen. So we don't know what's going to be the final product.
I did love the Model X. We had one, and I probably would have kept it if it was a Raven model. But Model X, I absolutely love it too. The Falcon Wing doors, I love those more than David does. But I don't know. I love X also. I love the auto opening doors. It just feels very nice. Logan says, I like how much the production quality of your live streams has improved. We're working on it. I mean, this is only what, 5th live stream like this?
Somewhere around there, 4th
or 5th. We're trying to make it as fun as possible. So if you have any ideas, definitely drop them down in the comments. And if you don't like any of the cameras, let me know and we'll upgrade them. Trying to make this as fun as possible for everybody. Let's see here. Our opinion, used Model X or new Model Y dual motor?
That's a hard
call. The
call.
Model X, we have a little bit more details, is a 2016 P90 with unlimited supercharging.
Oh, okay.
So it being a 2016, it's
going to be MCU1. So
MCU1 with...
Actually, yeah, and that you don't know what is it, Autopilot 1 or Autopilot 2, because depending on when it was built.
To be honest, either way, I'd go with a Y.
Yeah, because that's older hardware, and they're not upgrading that hardware. If they came out and they were upgrading Autopilot 2 today or soon, then I could say, okay, maybe the X.
Maybe.
But we haven't heard any update on when they're going to update those Autopilot 2 cars.
Exactly. I would totally go with a Y. Yeah.
And again, though, it might depend on the capacity. How many people do you have? Because the Y should hold 5 people. The X, depending on the seating, might be able to hold 6 or 7. So if you have several kids, then the X might be the one. But if you're still trying to decide, then that means you probably don't have that issue. And yeah, the Y is probably going to be the winner there.
Yeah, I would say Y for just.
Plus, it's going to have the newer warranty too. That's good for 4 years.
Exactly. Yep.
And unless, I guess, Tesla, if it's a used one straight from Tesla, you might still be able to get some of the warranty. But I'm just, you know, that Autopilot upgrade thing is kind of a...
It's kind of a hassle.
Yeah.
T-Rex is asking, is it really possible to be invited to a Tesla event without being somewhat well-known? So a lot of these invites went out to, like, the referral prize winners and stuff like that. So, honestly... Not sure. And luckily, we've been very fortunate with the Tesla referral program.
I think they have some random ones too, because there's still always new people.
I think
at all
it also
the events.
they give last minute updates to people that have an address registered that's like close to the event.
Yeah, we've
if there's
seen
extra
that
spots.
Where like an hour or day before the event, if it didn't fill up, we've seen people nearby get invites.
Yeah. Vince asking if we have tried Tesla Kila. Hasn't been out yet, but as soon as we can, we will. Hopefully it truly comes out. It's probably just going through a lot of like legal. That'd be my guess. I love Tesla's asking, how did you get those model chairs? So the chairs that David's sitting in now, if you'd like to model those for us, are actually from totaled Model X's that I bought on eBay. I bought the chairs, made bases. I have a whole YouTube video on my channel, so definitely go check it out.
I don't think they're not powered though, so the seat rests.
No, they're not powered in the USB, like right there. I haven't hooked that up.
Not
I
yet.
haven't hooked up the heated seats.
The cup holders still work though.
Cup holders still work. There's a lot of cool things I could do with them, but I wanted something fun, and those as like a little mini couch, it's pretty awesome in my opinion. I'm really happy with the way they came out. But I have a whole video. Definitely check it out if you're interested. You can find some really cool parts on eBay. So if you're looking for anything like this, definitely check eBay. Let's see. Yeah, a gaming chair like that would be really sick too. I agree with you. So we have a follow-up. Second question, how do you think an extended warranty will ever be coming to 3 and Y like S and X? I definitely think so. I just don't think cars Well, actually, there have been a lot of cars that have gone over. I know Andy Sly
Mileage-wise,
recently did on his Model 3. He posted on Twitter, like, buy warranty. So I'm honestly not sure why they haven't done extended warranties for the 3 yet.
Yeah,
It's a good question.
I think we'd be seeing that in the next year or two, just because it will be hitting the 4-year mark. So hopefully, we'll get some news on that eventually.
I would think soon, sooner than later. Let's see. Cody says hypothesis on Tesla will do what they'll do for rear-wheel drive long-range orders. Honestly, don't know. If anything, I would. That's a good question. Maybe go with they'll give everyone all-wheel drives. I don't know. I know that would upset a lot of people, but I also know canceling the rear-wheel drives will upset a lot of people. So maybe eventually they'll just make the rear-wheel drive. I don't think it was slated until 2021, though. So they still have some time to figure out what they want to do. But that's a good question. I think coming in at a lower price point would be great for people, too, so they should. Vince says we should RGB behind the seats. So throw some LED strips out there. That'd be cool. Let's see. Have you heard of anyone with a 2012 or 2013 Model S with severe battery degradation? I don't honestly know that many people with older S's, but I really haven't heard of anything like... I guess it depends how you classify severe.
I've heard of a few stories, but not a lot. And again, the older cars, though, would have the unlimited warranty in 8 years, so I guess they might be getting close to the 8 years. Unlimited miles, sorry.
Yeah, Michael, definitely replace the living room couch with Tesla seats.
Oh, yeah.
And let me know what your wife thinks.
We need to get that ottoman or the table going here one of these days.
Yeah, we have a fun idea for a table there. We haven't done it yet. Yeah. Hopefully soon. Model Y standard range. When do we think those would be delivered? Ooh.
I don't know. I think they're going to have enough performance and all-wheel drive, long-range orders to keep them busy for the rest of the year.
Yeah, I would probably say, again, 2021 on that one.
And again, they could do something different than what they did with the 3, because with the 3, they first came out with rear-wheel drive, then they came out with all-wheel drive, then out of nowhere they came out with performance, and that nobody was expecting. So they're not doing things quite the same. This time with the Model Y, it looks like they're coming out with the performance first, and that kind of makes sense because they'll make more money off of those higher-end models. But I would think if they go by price, they're probably not going to have those standard range plus versions of the Y until next year. Yeah.
Ty, not sure about your full situation, but if for some reason your autopilot broke and Tesla can't fix it, it depends on your warranty and everything too. I don't know. I would potentially look into stuff like that. Let's see. The quad. That'll probably be like the next. I mean, it's not really a huge announcement because it's already been announced, but that'll probably be like the other vehicle to come out. That'll be fun. Let's see. After Model Y deliveries, do you think they'll have more time to focus on FSD? I definitely think software is going to be a big focus for them in 2020. They have a lot to go on that.
Yeah, they're constantly making updates. I know they have a big programming team.
Yeah.
But there's a lot more to do still.
Yeah. Connor asks, do I have Mixer? Are you talking about Mixer like the streaming?
Probably that right there.
Or like my sound mixer?
I don't know.
Question of a question. If you're talking about streaming for like video games, I don't stream on Mixer. I used to do Twitch. Maybe I'll bring that back in time, but yeah. Or if you're talking about audio mixers, I have a couple here. That's the Rodecaster Pro, and I also have a Go XLR. Maybe getting rid of the Go XLR. Let's see. We have been live for an hour and 43 minutes, so we're probably going to wrap this up pretty soon. Let's see. Any other final questions? Oh, where did you get the mini supercharger on the shelf?
Oh yeah, that's actually isn't that the Tesla one?
Yeah, that's actually the Tesla one. Yeah. Here, if you want to grab that, we can show everybody.
So that's a Tesla like USB phone charger. I don't know if they still offer it, but
oh yeah, I don't know. Let me look while you show everybody. I will check it out and see if they still offer that.
So basically, you could just. Is this USB phone charger?
Yeah, that's the Tesla one.
Just doesn't have the cable installed in it right now. But if you look at that, it's pretty good compared to the...
I guess it's no longer on Tesla's website.
Oh, well, so that's something they offered a year or two back. And you could basically run your USB phone cable through there and plug your phone into the miniature supercharger. There also, though, are, for those of you wanting one, if they still don't sell it on Tesla site, there are some plans you can get on some of the maker, 3D printer sites where you can actually print these. Yeah. Or if you look for them on other sites, they'll sell them pre-printed. So if you don't have a 3D printer,
the only
you can
nice
buy
thing
one.
though is this is all
really
smooth.
Yes, this is nice.
It's like,
and it's got like metal
injection molded. It's much better than the 3D.
The 3D printed ones are rough and they don't have the metal coloring in there. It looks like the dogs are checking in because it's past dinner time, so they keep coming down.
They're hungry. We'll answer just a few more questions. T-Rex says, "Will you be adding a cyber quad to your Cybertruck?" Of course. I can't wait for that. That looked crazy fun, and I think you can do a lot of fun stuff with that. Do you think they made Model S good looking? Reason being, how do you upgrade an already good looking car? Yeah, so Model S looks top notch probably out of their whole lineup so far. And it is hard because they have to factor in how the car looks, but also how it performs aerodynamically. And that is massive to get the two things to mesh together. And they did that with Model S. So I'm not sure what else they could do to like refresh it. We saw some things when the two cars were at Nürburgring, and they had different front fenders, maybe a little bit lower side skirts and stuff like that. So maybe they'll stop doing that.
And the rear diffuser was slightly
the rear
different.
diffuser, yeah.
And we've seen some other mock-ups where people have put all kinds of weird fender flares. And stuff like that. I don't know. I like the current Tesla better than any of those.
It looks super, super sleek right now. Yeah. So hopefully they don't change it too much. Yeah. Beno asks, when will Model... Hopefully I pronounced that right. Hope. If I didn't, sorry. When will Model S Plaid be coming out? I think we'll see it maybe by the end of 2020.
Hopefully, yes.
But I think we'll know more on that on Battery Day, because I think that's kind of why they're waiting. I think there's some battery improvements they have to get. Cars 101, what color Cybertruck are you going to get? Metal. Is that a color?
Yeah, silver, stainless steel.
Whatever. Yeah, whatever. Yeah. Maybe we'll wrap it. Maybe we'll throw some stuff on it. Not 100% sure yet. Yeah. That rug look on the floor looks like my bed. Okay, so it is actually
a comforter.
A comforter.
We need to get another dog bed for in here, but yeah.
The dogs are spoiled. We love them very, very, very much.
So the picture there, on the right.
Which one?
On the right.
Oh, you sent a picture. Okay, so here is a picture of all the puppies real quick. A lot of you guys have been asking. So up top here, we have Layden. She is the female. We have Kit, which is a male, and we have Brecken, which is a male. And these are the two puppies. I actually put a video out. We picked them up in the Tesla. We road tripped and went and got them. It's a fun video. Definitely check it out.
Brother and sister.
Brother and sister. They get into so much trouble. If you look at all the little stuffing bits behind them, all that was probably because of them tearing up toys. And Brecken is older. I believe he's 11.
Yeah, he's 11 now.
So he's getting up there. You can see we didn't even notice his snout getting all white until we got the puppies and compared it. But yeah, those are the puppies. They're really, really fun. Three Musketeers, totally. Yeah. Somebody said do a mukbang video with the dogs eating.
Oh, yeah.
Has that been done before?
I don't know. Or maybe we could do a TikTok or something.
Yeah, maybe we'll TikTok it or something. Yeah, anyway, I guess that's kind of it. We'll probably call it there. We've been live for almost an hour and 50 minutes, so that's quite a healthy live stream. I think we got a lot of stuff done, and we peaked at like almost 400 viewers, which is definitely our biggest live stream yet. If you guys are new here, definitely subscribe, turn on the notifications, because when Model Y delivery happens, it could be an impromptu live stream. So we definitely want to make sure you get notified for that. And definitely drop a like on the video if you haven't already. And huge thanks to our channel sponsor, Abstract Ocean. If you guys are looking to accessorize your Model S, X, or Model 3, definitely check them out. Everything will be linked down below. They make a lot of really fun accessories and super useful accessories. And they fit, work really well. We've used them on all our cars. We actually used them far before they became a channel sponsor.
Yeah, on the S.
Yeah, on the S. Way back. Wow, that's been a long time. So yeah, definitely check them out. Huge thanks to them. But yeah, that's basically it. Hopefully you guys did enjoy the live stream. We'll definitely be doing more of these. We'll probably be doing Friday or Saturday next week. I'll have to look at that, but I'll schedule it just kind of like I did this one, and that way we can all sit, chat. Hopefully we have some more wine news next week.
Shutting off the Supercharger.
Oh, shutting off Supercharger. It's that time. But yeah, anyway, hopefully you guys did enjoy it. Thank you so much for hanging out with us, and we will see you guys next week. Bye.